I realize you people are on some Western don't die for the right reason type of bitch shit. So I'm going to explain to you why I speak in a way that is harsh. Again, considered harsh by bitches, that is. Number one, first it starts with survival. That is the ebert stage. The ebert is an animal. He doesn't do things based on morality, but based on survival and ability to breed. The ability to breed and the ability to eat. Okay, it's purely survival, ebert animals. You are all behaving like animals who don't progress mentally. Okay, you have an inferior form of intelligence that doesn't allow you to progress mentally. Because after survival, it becomes empathy. Not just I care about having my child grow up. That is survival, right? The survival of your genes is part of survival. Like apes beating each other up so they can breed with the female ape. Okay, so they can have their child. Quite often these animals, these primates, kill children that the woman they bred with had because they thought it wasn't like them, which goes to men it being kind of an intuitive survival instinct and evolutionary trait when men look at the child and say, that baby looks like me. Okay, so we evolved this way, and it certainly naturally was meant to be this way. So as we evolve to empathy, okay, empathy first and foremost is considering the patriarchal martial arts order. Okay, you have to empathize with those who deserve your feelings of pity and so on. You know, when you see a rapist doing time in prison, you don't set him free out of empathy. Okay? You empathize with the people who deserve it first and foremost. That leads us to the third stage, justice. There is no fourth stage without the third. There is no love without justice. Okay? Justice defines what love is. You're not doing your righteous ancestors justice. You're not doing God justice, yourself justice, your future seeds justice. When you reproduce with the enemies of morality and righteousness, a bunch of cheating, checkered floor, yin-yang, philosophy-having peoples. You cannot build it on a faulty foundation. The foundation must be yellow. The pyramid must be yellow all the way through. Sun temple. Sun of righteousness, even in Malachi. So yes, I'm going to chastise and rebuke humanity, especially women, for having the audacity to shun me all my life when I am the ideal man. Think before you judge my words. I have no respect for the scientific community. I have no respect for females, nor should I. Nor should any law require me to have respect, and they should not censor my speech for telling the truth about people who are doing something wrong as a group and the resulting feeling of righteous indignation. That is stupid. I am not some white supremacist giving you Nazi propaganda. I am not the Jewish-owned media trying to censor things as if Israel can do no wrong and the Jewish community is nothing but victims who just happen to have blood money. That is stupid. I'm not an Asian staying out of the way and giving people little tits of information from behind the scenes, you know, little tidbits, to try to position their race on top. In other words, I'm not a despicable, conniving, diabolical piece of shit in a secret society. Now that we're clear on that, RNA is the reason why men express their genes more. You are more like your father because of RNA. The male genes express themselves more. It is somewhat of a fair genetic distribution between your mother and father going to you, from your mother and father. But the RNA causes the genes to express themselves in the male's favor. This is why African Americans quite often are acting like white people, a variation of white people. Slaves that have submitted themselves to some kind of sorority or fraternity culture. It is absolutely repulsive. It is pathetic. If you wish to define yourself as something other than slaves, I suggest you start acting African and not slave American. Unless, of course, you're a bitch. Anyway, moving on. There's a war in the womb, which also means that just because you are acting African doesn't mean you're not acting like a bitch. It just came out in the news that there was different populations of Africans that came together, right? Some of them are dominant, and some of them are fat and stupid and slow. We'll get into that momentarily. And some of them are bitches. And some of them are little short motherfuckers that should have kept their mouths shut. I mean, shut the fuck up. But instead, they try to make it seem like, oh, we have nothing to be ashamed of, and they try to put themselves above people like me, and now they're being put in their places. War in the womb, Har-wer, the old name for Horus. One of his eyes was the sun, the dominant eye, the dominant hand, the right hand. One of his eye was the moon. And I'm not saying necessarily scientifically dominant, but spiritually dominant. Epigenetics is what makes this clear. The male expresses himself more in the world. He dominates it. If you wish to be a recessive, kind of submissive bitch on its way to being burnt hopelessly by the sun and to populate the world with victims of God's wrath, then you conform like a good little bitch. And I do mean little bitch. A Humpty Dumpty little bitch. A skinny little bitch. A strong little bitch. A little bitch nonetheless. They use chemicals to aid in the feminization and the emasculation and the chemical castration, if you will, of humanity. The fetus has been compared to a parasite. The female's genes are said to wage war against the males, and they have identified certain proteins or whatever the fuck they call it. I don't give a shit. Look, I don't give a fucking shit. The general idea is exactly what my martial arts ancestors have been saying for probably 300 fucking thousand years, but certainly for 100,000 years. Health and babies are connected. You don't fucking say. When people reproduce in a certain culture, that causes them to be strong, healthy martial artists, spiritually strong, with low body fat. Who would have thought that their babies come out more healthy? And this is why the black community is drugged by the CIA. They're putting drugs in the water. This is why bitches, this is why sniveling cowards have taken people they have bred for 400 years. And then they chemically castrate them and get them to act like bitches. And when you roll with it, instead of fighting to the death, don't expect for one moment that I'm going to respect you. And when on top of that, you don't present me your most beautiful women, you're hopelessly despised by Pharaoh. I don't give a shit if we have the same toenail size, if we have the same shade of skin. I don't care if we're the same height. I don't care if we happen to have the same type of teeth. I'm not a white supremacist or some kind of sissy bitch with false pride. You know, another type, that is. I actually value the spirit of masculinity in men, and I refuse to help out sniveling cowards that didn't stand with me. You are despised. The Spirit of God despises you. No, you'll never be right with God. Ever. You'll never be right with God. Don't get that twisted. That is disgraceful. That's like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Where's a man? I see a cartoon bitch of a prince and 7 fucking mini-me pussies. Not a man in sight. That is your culture. God's plan has been revealed by nature. Let's look at the E's, right? Their own wordplay testifies against them. Wordplay, right? Draw, ploy. Instead of draw on the Spirit of God, draw on the trickery, the trickster, the nonsense, the bitch shit. So this is the bitch shit so that bitches can understand what some people are born naturally understanding because their parents were right with God. And not on some, I need to survive, with a little scared little piglet bitch look in their eyes. Oh, silly-faced fucking cartoon Chippendale type of chipmunk type of bitch shit. Oh, Alvin, Simon, and Theodore type of pussies. Fuck's wrong with you? Okay, so we get stupidity, right, with an E. Fatty, kitty, funny. Oh, I'm funny versus having a sense of humor. Hugh is the authoritative utterance. It is funny to somebody who's a man and not to some giddy little bitch, right? Which leads us to grumpy, giddy, druggy, thuggy, right, where thug comes from, thuggy, you know, criminal scum, dummy, hippie, foodie, bitchy, pussy, dicky, right? Dicky jeans, right? The E, right? Goes back to circumcision. Precision versus having some fat, ugly, sloppy worm. You know, when you think about it, right? Would you rather have a refined penis penetrating a woman or some kind of sickly, uncircumcised, weird, some fat idiots? Man, what the fuck's wrong with you bitches? It doesn't take the top martial arts, a brain surgeon's son. to figure this out. You all let the devil lick you type of sickly whores. And sickly is also an E. Slutty, sloppy, groupie. And this is also why they drug people so they come off as sloppy, right? They come off as sloppy. They're going out of their way to make me come off as sloppy when they're the sloppy, unrefined, non-martial artist bitches. Get them out of here. Get them out of here. Okay. Groupie, puppy, buggy, happy with an E, okay? Happy versus one, which is a play on words. Who won? Obviously, the guy who's truly in the spirit of God. The African Sun Temple. Harmony, right? Versus oneness, again. Minnie Mouse, little bitch shit. Lucky, deity, C has two E's. Sleepy, right? And C with an A, the bull that covers the light. I'm sure you can figure that out. Sleepy, right? When you're kind of sleepy, you're more suggestible, right? What do drugs and alcohol do on you? Drowsiness. They talk about uppers and downers and depressants and so on. Dopey, sneezy, dummy, frumpy, shady, silly, Billy, Kathy, right? Cat E. Busy with an E. Money with an E. Comedy, hungry, thirsty, creepy, slimy, sticky. Now, when you look at it in terms of E, what caused them to be hungry? Were they in the spirit of God, this masculine martial arts spirit? Or were they doing some kind of sloppy, spiritually sloppy bitch shit, right? Spiritually out of touch. First and foremost, it has to accomplish the task. And if you're sloppy on top of that, he's like, what's wrong with you? You're a slob. That's what the Western culture, obviously, it testifies against them, right? With their trickery, their slimy, their sticky, okay, vile, evil, effeminate, and I go over this and what's emphasized and so on. So they testify against themselves when trying to make themselves look good. They're like, look, we have to look like a martial artist does, super on point, okay? But they use elegance and they use drugs, right? The druggie, right, to get them to be suggestible, susceptible, vulnerable, and to conform. Does a righteous man want you to be vulnerable? It doesn't take a genius to see that we're bombarding people with substances, right? Sin City, okay? The rotten apple, the golden state, when we all know money is the root of all evil. There's truth in that saying. So what is going on here, women? Are you just bitchy, bossy? Are you just Ebert fucking bitches? Hubert Spencer type eugenicist bitches? I'm in the spirit of Galton. Yeah, what the fuck's wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you bitches? Have some fucking heart. My goodness. Talk about the bull that covers light. Let's see. A bull is like a shield, right? It's like a pussy versus the guy who penetrates, right? Who is the greater warrior? The guy who penetrates successfully and kills them, or the person who relies on strengthening their pussy, so to speak, right? Their armor. Guy big and strong, shield. Right? Some bitch shit. It's the Virgin Mary spirit, the spirit of Yah, it's bitch shit. The Prince of Darkness when you cover the light. And obviously, where's the light temple from? I mean, we've gone over this time and time again. I am very much saddened at mankind's inability to man the fuck up and start acting like bitches. To them, acting like a bitch and covering your tracks is manning up. That's some bitch shit. That's why bitches bleed. It's supposed to be like, look. Red is the principle of evil. The person who bleeds is the fucking loser. Okay, who won? Obi-Wan, Oba, one, Abba, Father. Abba, all ask. Obelisk. The Pharaoh, a man. When there's a woman, when people get on some bitch shit, we start seeing female women. That's a coincidence. Okay, it was like in the, eventually some bitch shit comes around, right? Like Nefertiti, Cleopatra. These aren't exactly martial arts pharaohs who stand in the martial arts grave wearing the white crown of Upper Egypt earned through martial arts, marital, martial, Mary L, okay, Marsh L, okay, which God goes there and defines himself and unites the land. It is Nekin, okay? It is Haru, Horus. It is the falcon. Forget the wordplay. It is the ideas behind it. The wordplay is for bitches, right? Read, right? Read. When you read something, right? I'm reading. I'm a bookworm. Let's see. Birds and worms. Birds and bees. I'm a bookworm. What the fuck's wrong with you motherfuckers? These are literally dumb bitches. Like, I'm a dumb bitch. I'm a dumb bitch. I'm a bookworm. Choose me. Okay. Give me something shiny. I mean, what the fuck? How can you not see through that? How could anybody respect that?